Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get Bringing the Heat podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. It's Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsorships who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. As someone who found Anchor late, I was able to transfer all my podcasts from my previous site to Anchor, while also being able to go back and edit my episodes to insert advertisements. This truly makes Anchor the most user-friendly interface to get your podcast off the ground and running. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hey Luke, have you been looking for a new daily fantasy sports app?
I have really been jonesing for one.
I got the perfect one for you, Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a new DFS app for prop bets. They have streamlined the drafting process and eliminated the need to do unnecessary hours of research by using only top-tier athletes. Instead of the traditional salary cap format, you build your lineup around a list of prop bets. For each contest, you need to choose 10 of the 20 prop bets plus 2 ice picks that protect you from any late scratches or postponed games. Each unique prop has an over and under point value assigned to it, and you will be rewarded that point value if that prop is correct. For example, your man, Mookie Betts. Will he have over or under 1.5 RBIs? The less likely the prop is to occur, the more points the choice will be worth, and you build your team score around the amount of correct props you select. Got that?
I got it.
All right, so go check out Thrive Fantasy. If you use the promo code Bring the Heat, BringTheHeat, when you sign up, they will match your first deposit of up to $10. So you deposit $10, you have $20 to play with now. Go check it out. I know that we've already had some people reach out to us about their success. They've won some of their latest, I would say, bets. So go check it out. That's Thrive Fantasy, one of the best and newest daily fantasy sports apps out there. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The boys are back. Episode 33 of
The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town.
Yes, they are. We are back. 33rd episode, and it will not be 2 hours this time, we promise. It is.
What's wrong with 2 hours, man?
Nothing's wrong. It was just long, but again, it's Zach, and Luke is back again, and I think he's here to stay for good.
I had a rough day today. I just want to start by saying that.
Yeah.
I was watching the basketball tournament. Literally the first game busted my entire bracket.
Yeah.
The first game, man.
Twitter was blowing up about that. Luckily, I didn't do a bracket. I normally do one every year, but this year I didn't do it for some reason.
I was upset. I picked Louisville, and they got smacked.
Who'd they lose to?
Minnesota. Dude, I picked Louisville because Minnesota was 1-11 in their last 12 games. 1-11.
Well, they were due for one then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Somewhere Rick Pitino's like...
He was at the game because his son is the coach for Minnesota.
Oh, that hurts even more for Louisville.
Yeah.
So as always, we're going to go right into NFL. And again, making our airing it out segment is the NFL. Luke, do you want to explain?
Dude, bro. I don't get it. I really don't get it. They say one thing, then they say the next thing the next day. It doesn't make sense. Get your stories right. Get your facts right. Let's talk about Dwayne Haskins here. First, Tuesday, when we recorded our first episode this week, they were saying, oh, the Giants aren't interested in Dwayne Haskins. They haven't scouted him at all, not even going to his pro day. Next day is his pro day. Literally everybody from the Giants is there. Head coach, general manager, O-line coach, quarterback coach, player personnel. And then another report comes out after that they met with him, had dinner with him and everything. Basically told him they're going to draft him at 6 probably. And then all of a sudden the report comes out, nobody scouted Dwayne Haskins harder than the Giants did. Which one is it, bro? Make up your freaking minds.
Yeah.
Accusing the hell out of me, man.
Yeah, it was funny because I read that they stopped scouting him, and then the next day I see that they went to dinner, and I'm like, man, the media is making us look bad.
It doesn't make sense because, dude, how could they possibly scout Dwayne Haskins more than anybody else when they were scouting Justin Herbert all season, the quarterback from Oregon? That makes no sense.
Well, he's the person they scouted the most who's in the draft.
Oh, so they really haven't scouted him, is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
So
I don't know.
Only a small errand out, but media, stop making us look bad.
For real, man. You know, I thought we were on the ball with our reports, and then boom.
I mean, we were on the ball. It's just the real sources, the one that get paid the big bucks, weren't.
Yeah, I guess.
So we don't really have to go into too much detail about some of these things, but Julio Jones and the Falcons are talking extensions.
It's about time, man.
Yeah, it's about time, but I mean, I don't really know how many years he'll get because he is getting older.
Oh, he's what, 29 right now?
Yeah, I think he'll be 30 next year, which, you know, for football, that's pretty old.
Yeah. I'd give him a 4-year deal. Why not?
No, I think 4 year is good. I think that's a solid deal.
He's never really hurt. He's kind of durable. He's always there. The only injury I know he's had was that foot injury, and that was like his second year in the league.
Yeah, and normally if he's banged up, he still plays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Julio Jones is probably one of the most consistent receivers of our time, I would think.
Yeah, I would say so. Minus touchdowns, but yeah, he is.
No, yeah, but you know he's still going to put up close to 100 yards a game. Last year, he didn't find the end zone, I don't think, until
week 6.
Yeah, it was a while. And then we got potential suitors for Jordan Howard. So I just wanted to touch on this a little bit because it seems like that news story has kind of died down a little bit. But I would think with the Bears signing Mike Davis, and there's a chance that they're going to take someone in the draft at running back, he's got to be gone soon. So again, I don't think they get any more than a 5th round pick for him. But
I think just waiting until after the draft to trade him.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. But like thinking about suitors, who do we think that Jordan Howard could go to?
If the Raiders somehow mess up and they don't get their guy a running back, the Raiders. I can see them trading for Jordan Howard easily.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are a team. Do they still have Doug Martin?
You know what? I really don't know. He might be a free agent.
Let's see. Doug Martin kind of fell off. I feel like I could also see the Tampa Bay. I think
they do need a running back because Ronald Jones II, he was horrible last year.
Yeah.
And Doug Martin is a free agent right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say either the Raiders or Tampa Bay. Those are the two teams that I think have I wouldn't say glaring holes, but they could use a running back.
Yeah, they could.
Any other teams, or you think that's it?
No, the Raiders are my pick, and you pick the Bucks. Maybe the Packers could, but they obviously wouldn't trade in division, especially to the team that beats the crap out of them all the time.
And I also think that they like Jones there as their running back.
Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
He kind of came alive last year. Did pretty well.
Yeah, he's not bad as long as he's on the field. So Tampa Bay, speaking of Tampa Bay.
Speaking of the Bucks, yeah.
They hired 2 female assistant coaches. You have LOL next to that. Why?
Where?
It says female assistant coaches. Oh, never mind. It says Lori
It says
Locust.
Lori Locust. That's the lady's name.
I can't read.
Oh, man.
And then she's going to be the assistant defensive line coach. And then there's Merrill. How do you pronounce that?
Javedifer.
What is it?
Javedifer.
Yeah, that. And she's going to be the strength and conditioning coach. So what are your thoughts on that?
I guess it's cool. I mean, if they know the game, why shouldn't they be allowed to coach it, you know? If they're knowledgeable and they can help a player develop their skills that they need to.
Remember,
obviously Bruce Arians sees something in him. He's been around for almost 30 years coaching in the NFL. So, you know, he knows what he's doing. So if he sees something in them, why not?
I think the strength and conditioning thing, sure. Like, I feel like, you know, if you can put together a good workout, then, you know, I think that's what strength and conditioning coaches do for the most part. They keep getting their players stronger and healthy and all that stuff. But the defensive line one is a little weird. I'm not saying a female can't do it.
She's actually the head defensive line coach in the AAF right now for Birmingham.
Yeah, it's just very weird because, you know, like someone, like you would think that most of the time a coach is someone who's played that sport or played that position, something like that. And so for someone who's most likely never played football and probably didn't play defensive line, it's a little weird. But I guess, like you said, if they know the game and they can do it, go for it. Something different.
I mean, you're seeing it more and more every year. Last year, it was the first female ref. This year, the coaches. And then Becky Hammond in the NBA. She's assistant head coach to Greg Popovich for the Spurs.
Yeah, I would say basketball's a little different, though, because you have the WNBA.
Yeah, and the people on the Spurs are saying, like, Becky Hammond is, like, the best assistant coach they've ever had. So,
do you remember when the Browns were talking about interviewing
Condoleezza Rice?
Yeah.
What the hell does she know about football? I mean, she may know it. I can't say she doesn't, but she used to be in the White House, and now, or the Senate or whatever, and then the head coach for the Browns? Come on.
It was just funny because look at where the Browns were and look at where they are now.
Literally a 4-month difference.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So moving on, Justin Houston signed with the Colts, 2 years, 24.
This is a great signing.
Yeah, $24 million. I kind of like it because, they're just making that defense stronger. The Colts are a team. They're just, picking up guys that are filling holes, and I think the Colts are going to be right back to where they were last year.
Yeah, he's like the perfect complement to Darius Leonard. Leonard's like the all-around linebacker, and Houston's like that pass rusher that they needed. So that fills a glaring hole that they had.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a really good year there as well. And then we got Tyreek Hill. So we talked about him a little bit last week, and now this week you had sent me an article actually from Bleacher Report and I think Jay Glazer is the one that reported it. There was trade talks before any of this domestic violence stuff popped up. So now you would think with this that gives them more initiative to trade him.
But less initiative from other teams to trade for him.
Yes, agreed. And for a guy who's probably worthy of a first-round pick, you're probably not getting anything, I would say, earlier than a fourth.
Yeah, I don't see them getting even that just because of the baggage he comes with,
Yeah, and I think if it does come out that this happened and it is this bad, they are going to be forced to cut him. So
they're going to have to because they cut Kareem Hunt for something much less.
So it's just crazy to me that they thought about trading him, then they thought about making him the highest paid, and now he might not have a job.
Hey, he's going to be a free agent after this next season anyway. So whether he gets suspended or cut for the whole season, he's going to be available. So
yeah, definitely interesting.
After we signed off last time, dude, Baltimore would be a good fit for him too.
Oh yeah, they have no receivers.
None.
Willie Snead.
And Lev Bell would be crazy.
Willie Snead is the only returning guy.
Bell. What am I, an idiot? Oh my god, him and Mark Ingram. I said Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, that would be good, but I don't know. I think he might be out of the league if this is all proven true.
Yeah, I think he's been given one too many chances.
Yeah, not necessarily in the NFL, but in his life.
Just life in general, yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. And then, so this is kind of funny. Kaepernick and Eric Reed settled for less than $10 million each with the NFL lawsuit.
When this went down, they made such a big deal out of it, and they were stating it's an astronomical amount of money, and they're not going to announce it. They're going to keep it under wraps because it's so much money, so much money. This dude settled for less than $10 million each. They're both getting less than $10 million.
Eric Reed's contract might be more than that.
Yeah, he's stupid. No wonder why he's still asking for $20 million to play in the AAF and the XFL.
Yeah.
I was out here thinking he got like $80 million because he settled and he's going to donate like half of that. Why? $10 million and you're settling? He could have got way more than that, dude.
Yeah, probably. But maybe he's in financial crisis or something.
Yeah, because he gives away all of his money. I mean, it's a great thing to donate to charity and to, people who actually need it, but, bro, support yourself.
Yeah, I would. As much as I'd love to donate to charity, I got to make sure that I have a roof over my head first before I can help others.
Yeah, exactly.
I
just don't get it.
So we're just going to grade. So the offseason's kind of, I'm not going to say it's dwindling down, but, the big free agents have all basically been signed. A lot of the trades have happened already. So we're going to go through and we're going to give a grade, A through F, on the trades that happened so far.
Are we doing grades for, like, both sides of the trade? Like, who won the trade and stuff?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, we can say who won. I mean, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one, all right, Flacco to Denver.
I'm going to give that an F.
For who?
Denver.
An F for Denver.
F for Denver, and I'm going to give it an A for the Ravens because that means they're finally moving on, which they needed to do. They're giving the keys to Lamar. You got to trust him at this point. He brought you to the playoffs. Just go with it. You got to roll with the hot hand right now. And even the receivers last year were saying, Lamar's our quarterback, Lamar's our quarterback, Lamar's our quarterback. And then Flacco going to Denver, that's just John Elway taking his last shot at glory again. He sees himself in every single old quarterback that he trades for or acquires. And then Flacco's really, he's probably the same player, if not worse, than Case Keenum at this point in his career. I mean, he's 34. That's kind of young for a quarterback. We'll see what he has left in the tank. But I don't know. We'll see. He has weapons there in Denver, more than he did in Baltimore. So I kind of have some high hopes for him, but we'll see.
Yeah, because of those hopes and because we've seen what Flacco is capable of as far as being good, I'm gonna give it a D. I'm not gonna give it an F. I'm not gonna call it a total stinker, but I'm gonna give it a D. But I will give it an A for Baltimore because I just like what you said. There's a time to move on for everything, and I think that was it's officially the time. So an A for Baltimore and a D for Denver.
I think moving on from Flacco probably saved Harbaugh's job.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'll change the grade for Denver from an F. I'll give it a C if they draft a quarterback at number 10. Because then they have a Super Bowl winning quarterback that can groom him, that he can learn from.
Yeah, they've been linked to Daniel Jones, and they love tall quarterbacks. Paxton Lynch. So,
Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler.
Yep.
We'll see, man. I don't know.
So Daniel Jones will be the next one.
Well, it's the same. I think this is the same situation as Peyton Manning. Now, clearly, Peyton Manning and Joe Flacco are not on the same level at all. But like I said, it's just always, last shot at glory.
And the defense was much better when Peyton played.
Yeah, and their defense is still good.
Yeah, it's still good, but it's not as good.
I heard that they might be looking to trade Chris Harris, though, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's getting older as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the next trade was Deshaun Jackson to Philly. I'm going to give that an A on both sides because Philly needed a guy to stretch the field. They don't have that in Aguilar as a slot guy who's hit and miss, and Jeffrey's good, but he can't stretch the field. And at the end of the day, Tampa had no choice, so they shed a contract. They have good receivers already, and I like Chris Godwin and obviously Mike Evans. They can draft another receiver. Yeah, but they can draft another guy.
That's true.
I feel like they've done pretty well drafting receivers. So I give it an A for both because I feel like really Tampa didn't have a choice. So, they moved on, shed some salary, and, Deshaun Jackson goes to a place that really he wanted to be, and the Eagles had a need there anyway.
Yeah. It's a place he calls home. He's comfortable with that system already, and he's always loved Philly, even though, Chip Kelly got rid of him. He always, he didn't blame the city for it. He just blamed the organization, which, most players do. But he stayed in the NFC, and he stuck it to the Eagles every time he played them.
Yep.
And you see that a lot. Like, revenge games is a common thing. But now that he's home, he's looking to repeat, or not repeat, but he's looking to bring another title back. And I think with Djax, it brings that piece, that void that he left. He's going to fill his own void because last year they had Golden Tate. He did well, but he wasn't going to fill exactly what, Djax left. You know what I'm saying?
They've been missing that home run. Like, you didn't see too many big plays from the Eagles. They were still good, but you didn't see those 70-yard touchdown catches.
No, you didn't.
So that kind of brings another weapon to them. They just need a running back.
Yeah. And I'm actually surprised that they're looking for running back because Josh Adams did extremely well for what they expected out of him last year. And they kind of like, all right, kid, here you go. Let's see what you can do. And he filled the shoes pretty well of Jay Ajayi.
Yeah, I agree. The Eagles are actually another team linked to Jordan Howard. I just don't know how well he would fit that system.
It's kind of like the same system as the Bears, and he didn't really do so hot in it, And then they're just going to move him. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they'll do what they did with LeGarrette Blount and just use him as a goal line back.
Yeah, they could. So the other one is Michael Bennett to the Patriots.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to give Philly an A for the last trade for Djax, and then for this one, I'm going to give him an A too. I just personally do not like Michael Bennett.
Yeah, I would give it an A for Philly, but I would also give it an A for the Patriots because any trade they make is always an A.
Yeah. They lost Trey Flowers, and they lost both D tackles too. So they basically have no, front line, and getting Michael Bennett that's awesome to get that rusher that they needed. And then for the Eagles, it frees up a spot. There's not so much of a log jam on the defensive line because last year the defensive line just had too many people. You had Haloti Ngata, you had Brandon Graham, you had Fletcher Cox, and then you had Michael Bennett to that, and Chris Long. There's just too many people. Yeah,
but the only thing is Chris Long hasn't said whether he'll play or not yet. But even so, there's still a lot of people. Michael Bennett will probably put up 10 sacks this year.
Yeah. Probably, because, he's going to come in with that chip on the shoulder. He had a down season last year. Now everybody's saying that he's old and can't do it anymore. And they did that in Seattle. And then when they said that, he came out bald. Then he got traded to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
The next one is Antonio Brown to the Raiders. I give the Raiders an A+, and I give the Steelers... I give the Steelers an F. If there's
100% I agree.
If there's anything less than an F, I would give it to them.
John Gruden fleeced the Steelers on this, man. He robbed them.
Yeah, I don't even think we have to elaborate on that because we talked about it before, but just go look at the trade and you'll know.
What was it, like a 4th-round pick?
3rd and a 5th.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Then Zietler to the Giants for Olivier Vernon.
Giants, Brown, yeah. So basically, they redid the trade, and it's Odell and OV, Olivier Vernon, and a 5th-round pick to the Browns for Kevin Zeitler, Jabril Peppers, and a 3rd-round pick. So I'm going to give the Browns an A because they filled every void that they needed. They got rid of Josh Gordon last year. They got rid of a couple other receivers, too. Like Rashard Higgins is gone, and now Rashad Perriman's gone. I know Perriman's not that great, but he kind of filled in a role there. And then they get Odell, possibly the best receiver and the biggest star in the NFL today. And now he's with his best buddy. So that just made that offense even more explosive. And then they got rid of Jamie Collins, and now they got Olivier Vernon to fill that void of the pass rusher, that defensive end that they needed. So he's going to be playing opposite of Myles Garrett. And the Giants, I'm going to give them a B+. They needed that offensive lineman. They needed a safety to replace Landon Collins. And then they got a pick out of it as well. So, they got the first-round pick, not the third-round pick. They let the Browns keep the third-round pick. This just goes into the rebuilding phase and how they're going to build a better team, because now they have 2 first-round picks. Whether they trade both of them to move up, we'll see. It's yet to be known.
I'll give the Browns an A+. I'll give the Giants a B-. I don't know. I just feel like when you get rid of, I know Vernon hasn't played, but Vernon was a Pro Bowler before he went to the Giants.
Yeah, he hasn't played, but every time he's been on the field, he's made an impact.
Exactly. And then, again, Odell is Odell. So I think the Giants could have gotten a little more, but it's not like they got fleeced. They didn't get robbed. They still got decent pieces. So, I'll give them a B-, only because, I don't know. It's tough to give someone a good grade when you get rid of arguably one of the best players in football.
I think they should have got a little more pick-wise, I think they could have got, they should have kept that third-round pick in that trade. They shouldn't, have worked it out where the Browns keep it. They definitely could have got more picks out of that.
Yeah, I agree. Case Keenum to the Redskins.
I feel like the Redskins are just doing the same thing as the Broncos.
I give the Redskins an A for this, and you're going to be like, why? But I feel like Keenum is actually better than Flacco, and I honestly, at this point, think that Keenum can win them some games and actually play decent in that offense. So, and they didn't give up anything for him. They gave up like a 6th-round pick. And so for me, I think that that's a good trade. And I'm going to give
it's a good value trade, yeah.
I'm going to give the Broncos a D because I think Keenum is actually better than Flacco. And, I mean, that grade can go up, like you said, if they draft a quarterback. But at this moment, I'm going to give them a D because I feel like they just made that position worse.
Yeah. And did they give up a pick?
For Flacco?
No, I think it was Keenum and a pick for the 6th-round pick from the Redskins.
Yeah, they might have. I don't remember.
I think it was the 7th round, so I guess they're just moving up. I don't know. I don't know what the Broncos are doing. I don't know.
Do you want to give a grade for that, or?
I'm going to go double D because I like them.
Okay. So then we got Tannehill to the Titans.
What is going on with the Titans?
Who knows?
Do they believe in Mariota? Do they not believe in Mariota?
Well, I would think not.
Yeah, obviously. I'm going to give it an F.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an F for the Titans because, that just doesn't make any sense. And Tannehill sucks. For the Dolphins, I'm going to give it a D because, actually, you know what? I'm going to give it a C because they upgraded. They got Ryan Fitzpatrick afterwards.
I'm going to give it an A, and here's why. They got rid of Tannehill's entire contract. He was getting a lot of money.
That's true.
$24 million a year. So they freed up a lot of cap space by getting rid of him.
I didn't realize the Titans took the whole contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ups my pick. I'll give it a B.
And there's rumblings going around that they're going to trade up to get Haskins before the Giants do.
How will you feel about that?
I'd be happy. I don't care. Because I really want Josh Rosen. I wanted Rosen last year. I want him now.
It's possible.
It better happen.
Then we got D Ford to the 49ers.
That one's confusing too. Like, they gave him so much money for one good year.
I'm going to give it a C for the Chiefs because I feel like they have glaring holes on defense now. Like their defense was already pretty bad last year.
Yeah.
And I feel like this year now they've just lost more pieces aside from
But you
Tyrann
gotta
Mathieu.
remember, they fired their defensive coordinator and they're switching their scheme. They're going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. And D Ford and Justin Houston, they're not hand-on-the-ground defensive linemen. They're stand-up linebackers and edge rushers. So that's the only reason they got rid of them.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like D Ford probably could have done that a little bit better than what Houston could have.
Yeah, probably. I think he could have made the adjustment faster because he's 4 years younger than Houston, but it took him to be 28 years old for him to finally have a good season, you know?
Well, and that's why, like, I'm not going to give it a good grade for the 49ers either. I'm going to give it a C.
Yeah, I think it's a C on both ends.
I'm going to give it a C based on the potential that D Ford has, but, you know, he had one good season or two good seasons, you know? So
he's already sneaky old. You know who his comp is for me? Jason Pierre-Paul. Because Jason Pierre-Paul really only had 2 good seasons for the Giants, if you look at his stats. And then they gave him all this money. And then they just traded him away for a 5th-round pick. That's what I feel the Chiefs did with D Ford.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just didn't want him.
All right, we have 2 more trades, both linemen. We got
Lexi Osemele to the Jets. I think that is a great move for the Jets.
Yeah, I agree. They fill the hole at line, give Bradford more protection. I give that an A.
Yeah, that's definitely an A because he's a 2-time Pro Bowler.
And then for the Raiders, I give it an A because they freed up cap space
they freed up like $11 million.
And it gave Antonio Brown his contract.
But you know what? They also got rid of Donald Penn, so I don't even know what their line looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what the roster totally is, but I feel like, Assembly is really good.
He is.
So it's gonna be tough to fill those shoes, but and they've already had some offensive struggles, especially last year.
Mm-hmm.
But the Raiders also have so many picks that they can use some of those picks on offensive linemen.
See what they do. I mean, Colton Miller, everybody bashed that pick, but he actually performed pretty well last year. It took him some time, but towards the end of the season, he got it together. Donald Penn has really been the anchor of that offensive line outside of Rodney Hudson, and now it's just Rodney Hudson left because Osemele's gone, Penn's gone, and it's just Rodney Hudson holding it down at center.
Like I said, though, they got so many picks. They'll probably pick somebody. They'll probably pick a lineman or 2 in this draft.
Yeah, they're going to have to because they have some holes, as you said.
And then the last one is Gilbert to the Cardinals. So Steelers trade him to the Cardinals.
What are the Steelers doing?
Yeah, I give it a B for the Cardinals. They bolster their line. I give it, he's not the best lineman, but he's pretty good. And the Steelers, I give them a D.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a D too because I don't know what the Steelers are doing. They got rid of Gilbert. They let Le'Veon Bell go. They traded Antonio Brown. Now they're talking about trading Artie Burns. They're talking about cutting Bud Dupree. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, me neither. It's absolutely bonkers.
I mean, I'm not a Steelers fan, but they had a good core, and I feel like they definitely blew it.
I 100% agree. All right, anything else for football or?
No, I'm kind of over football.
Yeah, it's been grueling. There's been so much news.
I'm over football. Just get me to the draft. We'll talk then.
I agree. So moving on to MLB, the legend of Ichiro has officially come to an end, which I never thought it would. I thought Ichiro was going to play until he was about 100, but he retired after today, and it sucks, but his legend will forever live on.
Yeah, he kind of opened that door for the Japanese to come over to the MLB. He's kind of like that cornerstone guy that set the tone and really just influenced baseball all over the world, really, not just Japan. And he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has over 4,000 career hits between the Nippon Baseball League in Japan and the MLB. He's the all-time leading hits leader per single season, 262. That'll never be broken. Nobody even comes close to that anymore. Mm-hmm. This guy is just a stud. all around. I've always been a big fan of him, and he's surely going to be missed in the game of baseball.
Yeah, how could you not be a fan? I mean, the guy hustled every single time. He never did too much. He just did everything perfect. He hit well. He was an insane fielder. First year he comes into the league, he wins MVP. Like, just insane stuff. And, there's not one person who's ever talked bad about Ichiro. If you read all the stories, they're all always good stories. And he is just, he's a legend. So it was definitely sad. I mean, it was so crazy. Like, the one dude, what's the guy's name that the Mariners signed? I can't pronounce it.
Yusei Kikuchi.
Yeah, he was, like, sobbing.
Dude, he was bawling his eyes out. I watched the game this morning.
Yeah.
He was so upset.
Like, that's crazy. That's how you know you have an impact. And what other way to what other way to go out than, in the country that you started playing in, that you grew up in? So
I thought that was pretty cool. And the way they sent them off, that was pretty cool, too. They warmed him up, and then they took everybody off the field and just let him have his moment, saying goodbye to everybody.
Yeah,
But I feel like he's retiring from baseball in the MLB. I feel like he's just going to go back to Japan and just rake.
It would be possible. But I don't know. Like, he's 45, man. The fact that he even played, I mean, I would say he played till he's 43. He didn't really play last year. He played, I think it was 15 games or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's awesome, though. Everyone loves Ichiro. How do you not?
Yeah, and I think he's always going to just have that kind of that ambassador role to influence more Japanese players to come on over.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay in that organization in some way or another.
Mm-hmm. What better way to send him off than with 2 wins? I thought they were going to lose the Mariners today. They did lose the lead. They were winning 4-0, but they finally came back and won 5-4 in extra innings. Dude, Domingo Santana, bro, and Tim Beckham.
Yep.
I feel like they're going to be unsung superheroes this year for that team.
Yeah, the Mariners have looked good. I mean, everyone on that team seemed to hit pretty well in the first 2 games, especially Santana and Beckham. And Hunter Strickland looked pretty good tying it down at the end. It was crazy, though, because Jerks and Profar just missed a home run on the last out of the game.
Oof. I did see that. It was warning track power.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Mariners are still missing Malik Smith. He didn't make the trip. He's still back in Florida getting ready. So he's going to be ready for, stateside opening day. That team's going to be even better with him up top. Up 1 and 2 is going to be Malik Smith and D. Gordon. Try to slow them down.
Yeah, I think the Mariners are going to be pretty good. I think that division's going to be tough.
Yeah, and this Kikuchi kid, man, I drafted him on my fantasy team. I think he's going to be pretty well. His cutter is absolutely disgusting.
The way he hides the baseball is insane.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really good. I actually named my fantasy team after him. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
My fantasy team name is My Kikuchi is Harry.
That's pretty funny.
I thought it was fitting.
I like it. So moving on to your boy, Mookie Betts. It came out and Mookie Betts confirmed that he turned down a $200 million extension. Thoughts on that?
I'm not upset about it, At the same time, get your money, secure your bag, as they like to say. He's one of the top players in baseball, probably number 2. So I could see him getting that median between Bryce Harper and Mike Trout at 375. I think we spoke about this a little bit last time.
Yeah.
And he also said he finds it as a distraction, and he doesn't want it to take away from his play. So I get that. I'm not. If I was him, I wouldn't want to talk during the season either. Because everything I do is going to affect the conversation of what do I deserve more money? Am I regressing? Do I need to perform better? Stuff like that.
Yeah, and it also gave him time to feel out the market. It gave him time to see what Harper got and now Trout got. So now he knows what especially depending on how this season goes, he knows where he slides in between those 2 dudes.
Yeah, I think he's literally right in the middle. I don't think he's right at that $400 million mark, but who knows what the Red Sox are going to do.
Yeah, maybe the Red Sox don't re-sign him at all.
You never know.
I think they will.
No. They have enough players where, if he leaves, I'll be upset, but I'm not going to be like, damn, the Red Sox are going to suck. Because they have pieces. So they could always just, fill that void. Will they fill it 100%? Probably not. Because Mookie Betts is, he's a generational talent.
You're telling me he's replaceable?
No, he's not replaceable. Okay. But I'm saying, like, if they let him go, they could build, if he becomes too expensive for the Red Sox, they could, shed his salary and, just build on what you have.
I feel you. So another extension that hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. Paul Goldschmidt is going to sign a 5-year, $130 million extension with the Cardinals. Love it. Paul Goldschmidt, one of the more underrated dudes in Major League Baseball. I put him and Arenado kind of in the same category as far as that's concerned. So good for Paul Goldschmidt, and the Cardinals now have a guy that's going to be there for a while to build their team around, and they have a ton of young talent in their farm system.
Yeah, this is one guy that definitely has deserved it. He's kind of like Mike Trout in the fact that he's quiet and just takes care of business.
Yep.
This guy, he just goes out there, plays every day. He gives you MVP quality baseball without saying a lick. And this guy, he just goes out there and balls.
And at the end of the year, he's going to be up. He's going to be close to 300 with 30 home runs at least every year.
Dude, he steals bases too.
Yeah, and last year,
he's an all-around player.
Last year, he got off to a horrible start, and everyone's like, "Oh, are the Diamondbacks going to trade him or get rid of him or blah blah blah?" And then he went off for like the rest of the year.
I think in the second half he hit 360, and the first half he hit like 230 or something. His splits were crazy, so he ended up hitting like 280 at the end of the season.
Yeah, and he's been in the MVP conversation, I think, every year since he's been in the league. Yeah.
And, it's just going to get tougher and tougher with him trying to get that MVP because Arenado is just a stud. But, I like what the Cardinals are doing, man. They got a good, solid base. They're just one piece, maybe two pieces away. I predicted them to win the World Series because I do think they're going to make those moves. They have so many pieces that they could just trade and just upgrade.
Yeah, well, they crapped on the Yankees today. Dexter Fowler had 2 dingers.
But he's a piece that I think they're going to move because they believe in their young guys so much.
Dude, they have so much young talent coming up. Like, it's insane.
Harrison Bader, Tyler O'Neill. They got that catcher, Carson Kelly or whatever his name is.
Kelly, they said, is going to start the year with them. No, they traded Carson Kelly for Goldschmidt.
They traded him for Goldschmidt. They traded Luke Weaver and Carson Kelly for Goldschmidt. That's right.
Yeah.
But that other catcher that they have, he's also a top prospect. They have Alex Reyes. They got John Gant. They got Dakota Hudson. Those pitchers they all throw like 100 miles an hour.
Dude, their newest guy is Nolan Gorman. He's only 18.
Yeah, I saw that, and he's dropping bombs. They have all this talent. The Cardinals never suck.
Nope.
They're always up there.
Yep,
They have one down year. The next year they turn it around and win like 89 games right away.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Giants. At least, that's how the Giants were for a while. I think they're going to start regressing here a little bit.
But in my entire lifetime of watching baseball, I've never seen the Cardinals be, continuously bad.
Yeah, me neither. I would have to agree with you. They've always had a good foundation. That's why they have the second most World Series in the history of baseball.
I believe they're tied with the Red Sox.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think the last win really actually gave the Red Sox the edge.
Isn't it 7?
Yeah, I think the Red Sox have 8 now.
Oh, well, you should know. You're a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, I've seen them win 4. That's nice to say, bro. A lot of people haven't seen the Red Sox win for 86 years. I've seen them win 4.
I've seen the Yankees, I know the Yankees have won a couple since I've been alive, but the one I only truly remember is 2009.
Yeah. So right now, my lifetime's out, it's beating yours.
Well, not only have you had 4 Red Sox, you've had 2 Giants.
Yeah, dude, I'm living a good life fan-wise, man.
Yeah, I've had 1 World Series and 1 Super Bowl loss.
Oof. The losses is what sticks with you.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Oof.
So Eloy Jimenez will actually be with the White Sox. So he is signing an 8-year, $77.5 million contract. Do you think this is good? Do you think this is a good signing for him? Because I feel like that's not a lot of money, and he's 23 or 22.
It's not a lot of money, man. I broke it down. It's only like $7 million a year.
Yeah, and he's 20.
I mean, we haven't really seen him at the pro level yet, so we don't really know what he can do.
Yeah, but he's 20. He's 22 now. This deal is going to make him 30 by the time it's done. He's never going to make that money. Now, what if he went out, and did work and was winning arbitration and all that stuff? He would have made so much more money.
Yeah, but then again, the White Sox could do what the Angels did with Mike Trout. The Angels signed Mike Trout to a 7-year, $160 million contract, and they broke that off. They canceled the last 2 years of it.
Yeah, but Trout, I feel like Trout was still going to be young when he hit free agency.
Yeah, he was. He was going to be 27.
So it makes it different. Jimenez will be 30.
Yeah, well, I mean, whoever his agent is, I think he kind of dropped the ball on this because he's not even going to start the year in the majors this year.
Well, they said that they think he will now.
Just because of this. I mean, they sent him. He hasn't faced major league pitching in spring training since March 9th.
Oh, well, the article I read said that he most likely will start with the major league team now.
I mean, I hope he does. I really do. But you never know. He could be another John Singleton.
Well, that's what I was going to get at. He's the third player to do this, so to sign before facing any major league pitching. You got him, you got Scott Kingery, who did it last year, and then you got John Singleton, who isn't even on a major league baseball team anymore.
Dude, John, remember me and you? We used to think that guy was the next best thing.
I mean, if you look at him, he looked like he should have hit 55 homers a year.
Dude, I thought he was going to be the next Prince Fielder, to be honest with you. He was built just like Prince, just a little more muscular. But I don't know, man. He just couldn't stay on the field, whether it was suspension, drugs, injuries, and he just couldn't put it all together.
Yep, and it's crazy. He never got a second chance. Still free agent.
No.
I'm surprised he never went to Japan.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that I thought would do that because Eric Thames did it, and Eric Thames hit like 342 every year he was there.
And revived his career and got his money.
He got paid, yeah.
Yep. Definitely weird, but so do you think that this is going to happen, more often? Do you think that, people like Vlad Jr. and Tatis will start doing this?
I do because today the Rays also signed Brandon Lowe to 6 years, $24 million. And that's even less than what Jimenez signed for. Like, where's Brandon Lowe even going to play? You had Joey Wendell, who almost won Rookie of the Year, playing second base, and that's where Brandon Lowe plays.
Yeah, but he's super utility. Like, he could play outfield and almost every infield position.
But honestly, if you look at the Rays, their depth chart, they're pretty stacked. Like, for being the Rays, they don't have many holes. And all the except first base. That's about it.
Well, maybe
they traded Jake Bauers. So, they traded Jake Bauers, so that's what kind of left that hole at first base. I don't know if they moved Joey Wendell over and let Lowe play second, but I do think you're going to see this a lot more. You're going to see teams try to hold on to their top, their golden nugget of a prospect. Chris Bryant did it as well.
It's just crazy because Eloy Jimenez, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Vlad Jr. are all people are saying there's no way these guys bust. So yeah. I just thought that it would have been more, at least 150 over 8 years.
150 for a guy that never even saw a pitch?
Yeah, because only based on what everyone said.
Yeah.
If it was, Scott Kingery, no. Because Kingery was he's good, but, he's had a history of not being so. I mean, he walked on in college and things like that. To me, Scott Kingery had more of a chance of being a bust than what these three have.
Yeah. I don't even think Kingery's that good, dude. You saw last year that he struggled mightily, and he lost the third base job, won it back, and then lost it again. Then they tried him at second base, couldn't do that. So now he's their super utility guy.
Yeah. Wait, did you say that Blake Snell also got extended?
Yeah, he did. He got a 5-year, $50 million contract today.
So 10 a year for a guy who just won the Cy Young.
Yep.
I mean, it's better than what the other guys got.
Yeah. I mean, Jimenez's contract, he has the ability to earn up to $80 million. So that's going to be 10 a year, too, if he, gets those incentives. But it's obviously going to start out low.
Yeah. I like Blake Snell. I think He's also younger, though, too.
Yeah. He's only, 24, 25, and he won a Cy Young?
Yeah. So, I mean, see, if I'm a rookie, I would sign for, like, a 6-year. That takes me, you don't have to worry about arbitration. That takes me through my arbitration and everything. And
if I'm a rookie, I'm not signing a deal because, you have those arbitration years. But if you're good enough to get up there while you're young, you'll be a free agent by the time you're 27. And you're in your prime. Like, prime years for baseball are normally, like, 27 to 32.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I would, like, if I'm in, like, Jimenez knows that he's big league ready. Like, I would sign that 6-year deal so I know that, okay, I'm here for 6 years, but it's not going to take away from my free agency.
Yeah, but these guys are signing. If I'm Blake Snell, I'm thinking I'm worth more than just $10 million. And I think if I wait it out, I'm going to make more than that $50 million I'm going to make over the 5 years.
Yeah, it's true, too, especially if he goes out and even finishes in the top 5 in Cy Young voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know. We'll see.
So, Craig Kimbrell and the Brewers, their talks are coming full circle. Do you think he puts the Brewers over the top? So they basically would have one of the most dominant bullpens, I think, just between Josh Hader, Kimbrell, and Knebel.
Well, they have those three, and then they also have Jeremy Jeffress.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They're talking to Kimbrell right now because they don't know if Jeffress is going to be ready for the season. He's dealing with a shoulder issue. Do I think it puts him over the hump? No. I think it gives them possibly the best bullpen in the NL. I'm not going to say in all of baseball, but definitely in the National League. They just lack in starting rotation. I think they should have re-signed Gio Gonzalez. I think they should have, put all their chips into win-now mode, and they should have traded Keston Hiura and tried to get Madison Bumgarner, or they should have signed Patrick Corbin. They should have made moves. And I think they're relying on Jimmy Nelson to really come back and really reach that 2017 form where he won the 14, 15 games for him. And I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think that they definitely should have added to starting rotation. They basically have their player at every single position besides their starting rotation.
They're so stacked in their lineup that they got Moustakas playing second base.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
And you know what? He's doing pretty well. He's not that. He moves laterally really well, and he's hitting well right now in spring training. He just hit a home run yesterday.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like their starting rotation is very weak.
Yeah, they could easily just make trades. They have. They have Eric Thames that they could package with Ryan Braun and just and other guys and Keston Hiura to package these guys. Their ace right now is Julius Chassin.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You're not going to win games. And Brett Suter, who was one of their better pitchers last year, he's out for the entire year almost. I think he got Tommy John last year, or over the offseason. So he's probably not even going to pitch this year. I think they thought too much on the bullpen because they also signed Matt Albers. They got Alex Claudio from the Rangers. They got Javi Guerra. And they have all these guys in the bullpen. And now they're looking to add Kimbrell. What are you going to do? The things that the Rays did last year? You're going to have that starter, that guy that comes in and throws one inning, and you're going to deplete your bullpen every single day or every fifth day? I don't know. I really think they should have focused on the starting pitching.
I 100% agree. All right, so we're going to go through and we're going to do something where we're going to pick one player that we think is going to be basically the best player on that team. Or the player that we think is going to be the best, and help that team win games. Or it could be someone well known, or it could be someone maybe not as popular. So
you want to go by division?
So I have the list right here. So I'll just say the team, and then it is by division. It's going to start with the Central, AL East, and just go from there. So the first team is the Chicago White Sox. Who do you think is going to put the White Sox maybe over the top, or help them win games, or be their best player?
It's tough, man, because you can say Jose Abreu. He's consistent every year he's been there. You can say Tim Anderson. Is this finally the year that he's going to break out and he's going to stay consistent? Is it going to be Lucas Giolito? Is it going to be Ronaldo Lopez? Is Carson Fulmer going to come to fruition? Is Yohan Moncada going to stay consistent? So you could say all these guys, but I think right now it's tough. I'm going to say Ronaldo Lopez because he showed glances of an ace last year.
I was actually going to go with Giolito. Because Giolito, coming over from the Nationals was supposed to be like the next big thing, and he kind of hasn't lived up to that. So I think he better be that ace and be that guy, because I think time's running out.
Yeah.
So I think if anything, he needs to be the ace of the team, ace of the staff, and go out there and shove and win games. So I think that
he's still only like 25, 26.
Yeah, I know, but he has not done what he's supposed to have done. You know who we know who we forgot on them too? Rodon.
Carlos Rodon, yeah, he's their ace right now. But he had a solid season last year, so I didn't name him.
I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna go Giolito.
Dude, but like the White Sox did their thing this offseason, man. They added depth to like almost every position.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They definitely got better. They were banking on. They were definitely banking on Machado signing, because they signed his brother-in-law, they signed his best friend. But you know what? In the same token, like, they might have missed out on him, but they still have that cap where they can just sign and trade for whoever the hell they want. Their bullpen's good. They got Colomé, they got Nate Jones, they got Kelvin Herrera, and then their catchers aren't even bad. They got Wellington Castillo and James McCann. Those guys both know how to man a rotation, so we'll see how they do. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but they could easily play 500 ball.
Yeah, I think the White Sox are on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got the Cleveland Indians. I'm going to go with the recent signing of Cargo.
Really?
I think Cargo's going to come out in Cleveland, and I don't know if he's going to hit 300, but I'm going to say he's going to hit 250, 260, but I think he's going to hit like 35 home runs this year.
Really?
Yeah, like this is...
That's a hot take, bro.
I know, but I don't know why. I've always been a huge fan of Cargo. Change of scenery. They have kind of a shorter porch and right in Cleveland. I don't know. I really like him. I think that he's going to take over for Naquin, because I think Naquin hasn't done well. I think he's going to play a decent amount. And I was going to go Bauer, because I always talk about Bauer, but I'm gonna go with Cargo. I've always been a Cargo fan, so I hope he does well.
I'm going to go with their recent acquisition over the offseason and say Jake Bowers.
That was going to be... He was my third pick.
I think that kid is going to be a monster. He's only 23, so they got him for a long time, and they barely gave up anything, really, for him. Yeah, I think he's going to really put them over the edge. They've been looking for a first baseman for quite some time, because Carlos Santana is not a first baseman.
Yeah, I really like Bowers as well. The Tigers, a team with many holes.
Many. But you know who I'm going to pick? Nico Goodrum.
Oh, I like that pick.
Dude, he plays absolutely everywhere. And he was going to be the second baseman, but then they got Harrison from the Pirates, so he's playing first base. But, dude, last year he was good in the utility role. This year he's going to actually get some time. Right now he's hitting .436 in spring training. I know it's spring training. It doesn't really count. But this kid is good.
Yeah, I was actually... That was my pick.
Nice.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. I can't believe you picked the same person I did.
I'm looking at the Tigers right now. They're not that bad.
No, they suck.
I really don't think they're that bad.
They
got Daniel Morris, Tyson Ross, Jordan Zimmerman, Michael Boyd, Matt Moore. That's their starting rotation. And then what if Cabrera semi-returns to form? Nick Castellanos in right.
I like Castellanos.
Jordy Mercer's good. I don't know. I think they'll be all right.
Going to Kansas City. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that many dudes on Kansas City. My pick's going to be Kyle Zimmer. I think, he hasn't pitched in the big leagues. He's had a ton of injuries. He went out to Driveline, got everything fixed, and he has had a decent spring training. I think that this is his time to shine. He was a first-round pick a while back, and, he finally seems like he's 100% healthy and ready to go.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Kyle Zimmer.
Kyle Zimmer. I don't know. Who's even on the Royals, bro?
Billy Hamilton.
All right, I'm just gonna hang up the phone. I'm not. We're done. This podcast is over.
You want to skip the Royals?
Nah, you know what? Everybody's gonna say Whit Merrifield's really good.
Yeah, I like Merrifield.
Maldonado's a great catcher. What is their team? I'm just looking at it right now. What is their team?
It's crazy when thinking they won a World Series, not that long ago.
What, 3 years ago? You know what? I'm going to go Jorge Soler. Maybe this is the year he finally puts it together.
Probably not.
That's an ugly pick, but hey, we'll see. Let's just move on. The Royals are just... What are the Royals?
Yeah. Next is the Twins. I'm going to take the easy pick. Nelson Cruz. No, Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz. Oh, Nelly Boone. I thought we were supposed to pick, underdogs, bro.
No, it could be I said anybody.
Oh, okay. Marwin Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, that's a good signing by them.
Yeah, because C.J. Cron's, I think he's hurt for the first, couple weeks, and they're going to... No, Sano's hurt, and Gonzalez is playing third base. And I think if he plays good enough, that Sano doesn't even come back.
Yeah, well, Sano's been horrible.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, was supposed to be a sure thing like Byron Buxton, and he just gets fatter and fatter like Sandoval.
That happens with every Twins pick. Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. Same thing happened with Aaron Hicks, and he's kind of put it together, but he's not.
Max Kepler, he's kind of changing that, and so is Jorge Polanco.
I really like Max Kepler a lot.
And Eddie Rosario's decent, too. He was an all-star last year. They have pieces.
I think the Twins are going to be the only team that give the Indians kind of a run for their money.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. And they got Michael Pineda coming back this year, dude.
Yeah, he threw pretty well the other day.
Yeah. And their bullpen's not bad. It's not. They lost Fernando Rodney, but, it's not bad. So they might, I'll say, 84 wins, if that.
All right, next team, Baltimore Orioles. My pick. I already told you this yesterday. Cedric Mullins.
Cedric. Dude, he's going to be a stud.
I really like Cedric Mullins a lot.
He's a workhorse, man. He busts his ass.
Yeah. He's like he's like the old school leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Smaller dude, hits the ball for average and fast.
Mm. I really like some guys on this team. Dylan Bundy's one of those guys that I like. I like Michael Givens. Robert Blair's a stud left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. They had a Nate Carnes. I mean, the Orioles are probably going to be the worst team in baseball, but I'm going to go with their corner outfielders. I'm doing two people on this because everybody knows I'm a big Notre Dame fan, and Joey Rickard and Trey Mancini both played there. And, they're pretty decent ball players. I think they're probably going to be, along with Cedric Mullins, the best players on this team, which isn't hard to do.
Oh, don't forget about Mark Trumbo's coming back.
He's butt cheeks, dude. He's just bad. Just bad.
All right.
That's all I have to say about Chris Davis and Mark Trumbo. They're just bad.
Moving to your team, the Red Sox.
Ooh. I got a good one. It's going to be one you never even heard of.
Is it going to be Chavis?
Who?
The Chavis, the...
Michael Chavis? No, because Pedroia's going to be healthy this year. He's going to man second base, and they're going to trade Michael Chavis. But it's okay. I'm going with Darwinzon Hernandez. Okay. He is a 22-year-old left-handed pitcher, and he's been lights out all spring. And the Red Sox really have not had that shutdown lefty really ever. I mean, they had Hideki Okajima for a couple years, but this kid, he's pretty good. He looks like a stud. I think if the Sox have that, that shutdown lefty out of the bullpen, he's the guy.
I'm going to go with Jackie Bradley Jr. I like Jackie Bradley. I think, you know, he has a shot to, if there was a comeback player of the year. Not for his defense, obviously. Like, he's always been one of the better defensive center fielders, but offensively, he's kind of struggled the last couple of years. I've always been a fan of Jackie Bradley when he was at South Carolina. So I'm gonna go with Jackie Bradley. Maybe putting in a little bit more work to carry that team.
I agree with that pick. I like it because you know who he worked out with all off season?
Who?
JD Martinez and his swing coach. The guy that fixed JD Martinez, the swing, you know, like after he sucked for the Astros and then blew up for the Tigers, that's who Bradley worked out with all offseason. And he's looked pretty good this spring.
Yeah, he's hit well. Then we got the Yankees.
Yanks.
Oh, man, who am I going to pick for the Yankees? I didn't think about this ahead of time.
I feel like they're all hurt, so you don't really have a pick.
Yeah, a lot of them are hurt. I'm gonna go with Luke Voit. I think Luke Voit is going to do exactly what he did last year. I mean, but throughout the course of the year, like I could see him hitting 30 home runs.
I could, yeah.
I really, really like Luke Voit. The Yanks have kind of had a void at first base, really for a while, because Mark Teixeira didn't play much towards the end there.
No, he didn't.
And, Greg Bird's hurt again. So I really like Luke Voit. I think that he's the one guy that he brings a certain energy to that team that, I feel like the Yankees, kind of lacked.
Yeah. Just so you know, they have Troy Tulowitzki marked down as their starting shortstop.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
That's only till Didi comes back.
Until July, so you don't even know if Tulowitzki's going to make it to July. The guy steps on the field and breaks a toe.
Well, they'll just move Glaber to short.
And then DJ LeMahieu's going to play. That's how it should be right now anyway.
Yeah.
They signed DJ LeMahieu to a $60 million deal, and he's sitting the bench.
He's going to play a lot, though.
That makes no sense. He's not even starting. Why would you sign him to that much and not start him?
Oh, I love when you go on your rants.
I'm so stupid. And then they gave Hicks $70 million just to break a spinal cord. His L7 wiener is broken. Unbelievable. I'm going to go Gary Sanchez.
That was going to be my other pick. Good pick.
I think he's going to turn it around this year, but if he doesn't, I really think that's going to affect them big time.
I agree.
I know. I mean, you saw last year that it did. I mean, they were still good. They were the second team in baseball, but you just saw that they were missing something. They were missing that guy other than Aaron Judge and Stanton. They were missing that clutch hitter after those two. They were missing his arm to throw guys out. Like, his defense is absolutely terrible, but his arm makes up for it. Yeah,
and so Sanchez struggled in the beginning of this spring, but he has been mashing lately.
Yeah, he's been hitting, but that's what they expect. They expect him to hit. So I don't know why they don't just stick him at DH, or why they didn't even let him, take reps at first.
Yeah, I agree.
Just put Stanton in the field, bro. He's a good fielder.
Tampa Bay Rays. I'm gonna go. I don't even know if this guy's gonna make the team, but if he does make the team, I think he's gonna be good. Are you ready?
Who you got?
Smolinski.
Jake?
Yeah.
I don't even see him on the roster.
I've watched him play a bunch of times in spring training, and I honestly like the guy.
What position is he?
He kind of floats around.
Left bench. Got it.
No.
I really like the Rays. I do. They got 3 starters. I didn't know you could just have a 3-starter rotation. But they got 8 starters in the bullpen. They can all go for deep into games. Stanek, Yarbrough. Yarbrough had 16 wins last year. I don't know if anybody knew that, but Ryan Yarbrough's pretty good. Jose De Leon, he's supposed to be good. They got Jacob Faria that's in the bullpen. Jalen Beeks, who they got from the Red Sox, he's okay. Emilio Pagan's good. I'm going to go Matt Duffy. If he stays healthy, Matt Duffy can rake.
Yeah, he can. I'm going to change my pick, by the way.
You changing it too? The pride of Westchester.
Yeah, actually, I am going to go with
Joey Wendell. He's on my fantasy team, too.
I am going to go with Joey Wendell.
Yeah, dude, I think he's going to be a stud because he just plays so many different positions in fantasy baseball, and he proved he could play at second, so he's good.
And he has zero swag, which I love.
Yeah, the no-drag swag, bro. I really think the Rays are going to be better than last year because they got Austin Meadows to man right field.
Dude, you know who's so bad for them, though, is the dude they got from Pittsburgh. The pitcher. What the hell's his name now? I just watched
Tyler Glass now.
Yeah, dude, he's so bad.
You think he turns it around or no?
I don't know. Like, the dude is like 6'8".
He has the intangibles.
Yeah, and he throws hard. It just his mechanics are all weird, and the ball goes everywhere.
I feel like he tries too hard to be Chris Sale.
I don't know. His mechanics are very different now.
Yeah. Who is their first baseman?
I don't know.
Jumon Choi is playing first base in DH, and then they have this Diaz cat. Yandy Diaz?
I have no idea.
Bro, I'm knocking Yandy Diaz. This guy hit 312 last year. Who knows? They were supposed to get Nelly Boomstick, and they didn't. I feel like if they got him, that would have put him over the edge. I'm going to change my pick. Because Matt Duffy's great, but I think Zunino is going to just break out this year. I really do.
Well, he had one good year.
Yeah. And dude, he's a really good catcher, too.
Yeah, he just can't hit.
For average.
Yeah, he's got power.
Yeah.
So the last team in the East, Toronto Blue Jays.
Dude, I think they might give the Orioles a run for their money as worst team.
I'm gonna go with Teoscar Hernandez.
You think this is the year? Because he was supposed to be a stud for the Stros.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the year. He's going to win the outfield position over Billy McKinney. And, I think he had a semi-decent year last year.
He did. He did very well against the Yankees. I know that.
I mean, I know that they're going to struggle, but I'm going to go with him as my pick.
Did you know they signed Freddie Galvis to be their shortstop?
Yeah.
I had no idea. There's nobody on this team that I like. Not one person that I like.
Not even Stroman?
I like Stroman, but I don't even know. He hates steroid users. Yeah, he got busted in the minors. He seems to forget that,
And his dad takes steroids, probably.
He talks mad junk. Dude, on paper, I'm looking at this team. These guys aren't bad. They're not. They're not bad. Brandon Drury, he was a hell of a player for Arizona. I think he'll probably turn it around.
I think the Royals are going to be the worst team in baseball.
Yeah, probably. But Stroman and Sanchez, if they're healthy and they're right and they're on, they're a good 1-2 punch. And they also signed Clay Buchholz, who had an amazing year last year. So I'm going to go Justin Smoke. Because he's been the linchpin for that team for 4 years now, and he's just good.
Not Kendrys Morales?
He'll probably snap another ankle.
So, just for the sake of the podcast, why don't we just do AL today, and then the next one we'll do the NL?
All right, that's fine. We got the West to go.
So the West is last. So, the Astros. I know that this is going to... This is going to be the most obvious pick, but I have to go Alex Bregman. I love Alex Bregman.
Ooh, I think he's a turd.
Really? He might be a turd, but...
I hate him, bro. I hate him.
He's so good.
No, I hate him. Can't stand him.
Dude, really?
I was so happy when Benintendi made that diving catch and just stared him down. That was awesome. I hate Alex Bregman. Hate him.
See, I love Bregman. He's a small, fiery guy, and he hits the crap out of it.
Dude, he's a tool. I don't care. I hate him. I'm going to go Tyler White, though, because he looks like me. That's why.
He's almost just like Gaddis, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what you need him at DH. Just a guy that, just toes the plate and rakes. Just swings for the fences, whatever. So I'm going to take him. Plus, he's young.
Yeah.
He's got a nice beard.
I didn't want to take Bregman, but I had to. Like, the guy is he's a stud.
No, I'm switching my pick.
Okay.
I'm going Brad Peacock.
Oh, that's not a bad pick.
Because he just won the 5th rotation job.
Yeah, he's actually been pretty good for Houston.
I'm pretty sure Colin McHugh's going back to the bullpen because he had a terrible spring training.
Good.
So that opened the door for Josh. Ow! Sorry. That opened the door for Josh James.
All right. There you have it. Los Angeles Angels. Actually, Mike Trout's team. You know that team.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Mike Trout.
Yep. The Los Angeles Trouts.
This is another team. I just look at it and I just go, meh.
I'm gonna go Cole Calhoun. He's gonna have a comeback year.
That's where I was gonna go. Dude, because early on he showed like that he could be Mike Trout. You know, his first 2 years, and then just.
Well, he's a great outfielder. He just has struggled at the plate. So I think he's another guy that's kind of turned it around. This spring, he seems to be hitting pretty well.
Good. I hope so. I like him. I hope he turns it around.
I remember
he used to be a good 2-hole hitter.
I remember when he was at Arizona State.
Oof, you're throwing it back, bro.
Word. He used to have red curly hair.
My pick, I'm gonna go Zach Cozart. I feel if he stays healthy, he's gonna really affect that team.
Yeah, but he won't stay healthy.
All right, then I'll go Matt Harvey. He won't stay healthy either.
That's true.
Dude, you know they got Trevor Cahill throwing opening day.
Are you kidding me?
I'm dead serious. He's their opening day starter.
How is Matt Harvey not your opening day starter?
How is Tyler Skaggs not your opening day starter?
That too.
And Andrew Heaney's hurt. His elbow's messed up.
Well, what else is new? Another Angels pitcher.
The Angels just. Why don't you just start Mike Trout and then he can sprint and go catch his own pop-up?
No, because then he'll need Tommy John surgery.
That's true. A lot of guys need Tommy John on the Angels. Who's next? Get me off this roster. I don't want to look at it anymore. Let's go alphabetically. Let's go the Athletics.
Yep. They were next anyway. I'm going to go with Jerks and Profar.
Dude, you steal one of my picks again.
They traded for him. He finally gets it. I mean, he played a lot with Texas, but I think he actually did pretty well for them last year.
He did. He was on my fantasy team.
He's kind of shown some pop too, almost hitting a home run today as well. Good infielder. Yeah, I like Profar. I think he's gonna help that team a lot.
I'm gonna go K-Ris Davis.
Oh, that's an easy pick.
Yeah.
He's already dropped a nuke.
Yeah, I know. Dude, he is the definition of consistency.
Yep.
Mr. 247 himself is going to hit 247 again with 47 home runs and 147 RBIs.
Yep. Just a quick update, too. Matt Olson was injured today.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he actually hurt his hand swinging.
Oh, that's not good. He probably tore something.
And so he ran the bases, and then as he was running the bases, he's like, then all of a sudden my hand, I just couldn't move it. It started to hurt.
You know, that opens the door for Mark Canna then.
Yep.
Sexy Canna, please start in my manners.
Yeah, I'm not a big Mark Canna fan.
I like him. He's good.
They
haven't been a super dude. They have 8 utility players.
He's a turd.
No, he's not Alex Bregman. No way. You know what? I changed my pick again. I'm going to go Chad Pinder because he's eventually going to take over on left field for Robbie Grossman. But right now he plays legit every single position. He plays left, center, right, first, second, third, and shortstop.
You could have picked the PA native, Lou Trevino.
Who, Sweet Lou?
Yeah.
I like Sweet Lou, man. He's good.
Then we got who the Athletics played today. The Mariners. I'll let you pick first so I don't pick over you.
I'm going Domingo Santana. Because he hit 35 home runs just 2 years ago for the Brewers. And he hit a nuke yesterday, a grand salami. So, I'm going to go Domingo Santana. I think he's going to hit 30 home runs and get you 80 RBIs.
I'm going to go Ryan Healy.
He is garbage.
What? I've always liked Healy.
Dude, he hit 209 last year.
Yeah, I know, but he's off to a better start this year. He's got a home run today, 2-run shot.
They're going to move him to third base. They're putting him back at third because Kyle Seager's out until June.
Well, that's fine. I think Healy's going to have a bounce-back year. He was solid with the Athletics before they got rid of him.
Yeah, and then he went to Seattle and he caught the depression bug because it rains all the time there.
I think he's going to bounce back and have a good year.
Dude, you know who's quietly a stud? I say quietly because he plays in Seattle. Mitch Haniger.
Oh, Mitch Haniger's a monster, dude.
Yeah.
He is.
He should have got MVP votes, not boats. He should have gotten a vote for his MVP votes. Votes, goddamn it, I can't speak. Next team.
The last team on this list, the Texas Rangers. I'll let you pick first again.
Oh, my original pick's not even on the roster right now. You know, I'm gonna go Odor because if he sucks, they're gonna put DeShields at second base and they're gonna put Ben Revere in center field. I think if they just do that now, they'll be a better team.
I'm just gonna take DeShields.
He's good, man.
He's a stud.
I like him a lot.
I think that they're going to be another team that struggles. They don't have much pitching either.
These are like guys that are just way past their prime. Mike Minor, Lance Lynn, Drew Smiley. You know, Smiley's coming off of. This is the Tommy John team.
What about
Shelby Miller, Tommy John, Edson Volquez, Tommy John, Drew Smiley, Tommy John.
What about Beebens Dirks? Is he still there?
He is, but he got sent back down.
Oh.
Yeah. They might be bad this year, the Rangers.
They're not going to be good.
Joey Gallo will hit you 50 home runs, but he's also going to strike out 500 times.
Yep. All right, so we will review the NL next week. On Tuesday for that episode.
Nice.
So just to wrap up, the last thing we'll talk about here is the UFC. So no TJ Dillashaw for a year. Thank God. Couldn't be happier.
I hate that guy, dude. He's a turd too. He's an Alex Bregman.
It's so fitting because everyone's been saying how he's been on roids and he's been juicing and all this stuff, PEDs. His old gym said it. McGregor said it. And here we are.
He finally gets popped. Dude, nobody gets that shredded and that cut and lean without taking something.
And nobody goes from sucking so bad to, like, almost unstoppable.
Yeah, wasn't he on, like, a 3-fight losing streak?
Yeah.
And then he just, like, clicked on out of nowhere.
And he said, it was just from the gym change. But how much better does that make Henry Cejudo look?
Henry Cejudo's a stud. He is an Olympic hero.
Knocked him out in 32 seconds.
Got the quick 10-piece, bro.
Word.
Good. I'm screwed. Get out of here, TJ. The UFC is better without you. Go to ONE FC or something, dude.
Word. I agree.
Another turd. Luke Rockhold.
Luke Rockhold, who doesn't even have...
I'm in a bitter mood with all these guys you want to talk about today.
Rockhold didn't even have a chin, at middleweight?
Yeah.
And now he wants to move to heavyweight. Do you think... Now, we've seen guys struggle with getting knocked out because of the weight cut.
Yeah.
But do you think that's going to help his chances or worsen his chances, especially now that the light heavyweight division, as we talked about last podcast, is on the come up?
And, despite my feelings towards Luke Rockhold, he is a great fighter. He did get caught by Michael Bisping. He's been knocked out plenty of times before, Jacare Souza, Yoel Romero. I'm sure Kevin Gastelum, if they ever fought, probably would have diced him up too. I think the weight the change to 205 is going to help his chin, maybe, because he's not sucking in so much weight and he's not going to be as exhausted. But I think he's going to have a difficult time. His Brazilian jiu-jitsu is up there with some of the best but his stand-up's not that great. And like I said the last time, and you just said right now, the light heavyweight division's on the come up, and all these guys are all-around fighters. They're not just, they're not just stand-up guys, because these guys they're trying to base their game off the best in John Jones. They're trying to beat him so they could beat John Jones.
Yeah, I think that Luke Rockhold loses to Johnny Walker. I think he loses to. I think he would lose to Anthony Smith. I don't know. Like I've watched a bunch of Rockhold fights, and
he's boring.
Yeah, and especially lately, like he sucks. Like lately, he's been horrible. He
kind of reminds me of Ben Askren.
Yeah, and I feel like anytime he's ever fought anybody good, he loses.
Yeah.
And he's going to be facing heavier punches now, moving up a weight class. I don't think he stands a chance at light heavyweight. I think his MMA career is. I could see him going to Bellator 1 here soon.
Bro, I poo-poo him. He sucks. I don't like him anymore. I take back. He is good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but meh.
I poo-poo him.
I poo-poo him.
We should have a segment. You should have. We'll make one for you.
What's that?
Just whoever you feel like poo-pooing for that day.
I poo-poo everybody we've mentioned so far.
Oh, what about Holly Holm? Do you poo-poo her?
I'll poo-poo her and her poo-poo.
Holly Holm signs a 6-fight contract extension. Good for her.
She's kind of on snide right now, but she's a great fighter, man. She'll figure it out.
She's one of the female fighters that I actually enjoy watching.
Yeah, she's exciting. Like, she's going out there and she's putting on exciting fights. She's not just losing. She's not just, like, getting her ass kicked, She's putting up a tough fight.
Yeah, and
she just fought.
She doesn't do the whole takedown thing. She's going to try to punch or kick your head off.
Yeah, she's a boxer by nature, so.
Yeah, so I like that. And, Holly Holm. I would say.
You know what? I'm still so mad at myself. I called her knocking out Ronda Rousey when she first got here. I should have put money down on that. I literally told you, I told my brother, I was like, dude, she's a champion boxer. She's going to kick the crap out of Rousey. No, she's not, bro. Ronda Rousey's amazing. I could have won like $50,000, and I wouldn't even be in this hellhole. Gah.
Man, don't be so hateful towards bringing the heat.
No. I'm not calling this the hellhole. I'll tell you what, we probably have a studio to have good quality.
We would definitely have a studio with great quality.
Yeah. Then I could poo-poo whoever I wanted.
So Derek Lewis is a legend officially. He's always been one of my favorite fighters, especially over the last couple of years. But this man's been fighting with a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus for the last 7 years. And
that's probably why he doesn't like doing cardio.
Yeah, I would think so. And so to think about all the people he's beat and how impressive those fights are with those injuries, and he's finally getting them fixed now.
Oh, he is?
Yes, he's getting them fixed. So we won't see Derek Lewis for a while.
Dude, after 7 years, there's like nothing to even repair. It's just all gone.
Yeah, I don't know. So his coach did say that he's officially getting them fixed.
They're probably gonna have to is it both knees?
I think it's all in one knee.
Dude, they're gonna have to cut his hamstring in half. What the hell? That's crazy to me. 7 years? I know McGregor did it for 2, but I feel like after 2 it's still salvageable to to put the tendons together and the ligaments. 7 years, dude, all that's gotta be eroded and died away.
Yeah, you would think so, but I don't know. I mean, I guess that's why he always looked immobile in the gym or in the cage.
Yeah, he looks like he struggles going to whatever. He barely moves.
Yeah, he just.
Now we know why.
Yeah. So.
Wow, I'm shocked.
That makes him even more of a legend.
That's tough, bro. Because big guys like him, I would say my brother's about the same size as him, weight wise. Mm-hmm. And Bobby messed up his knee, bro. His knee injury was disgusting. And Bob couldn't even walk on it. And he did basically the same thing this guy did. And this guy's been fighting on it for 7 years.
It's crazy.
No poo-poo for you, Derek Lewis. You go.
No, he just has to poo-poo sometimes during fights.
Yeah, dude, good for him. Good for him, bro. You know what? Yeah. Derek Lewis is a Hall of Famer in my book.
I agree, especially when it comes to being on the mic.
Oh, nobody touches him.
So then the other thing, we don't even have to dive into it, but just to let people know, Rafael dos Anjos will fight Kevin Lee in May.
Meh. That's another meh. That's a good matchup, but I feel like it's going to be a wrestling match.
We got to see what the rest of the card is. If that's the main event, I ain't watching it.
Yeah, I probably won't either. I'll probably just watch that fight.
And then...
Why is Kevin Lee going to welterweight?
I don't know.
Does he really think he has a better chance at welterweight than lightweight? I feel like the welterweight division is just as stacked as the lightweight.
He's kind of been on a snide, so I don't know.
He did get worked by Ally Quinta for the second time. Everybody forgets that he lost to him already.
Yeah, it was twice, actually.
You know, Kevin Lee's another one of those guys that's probably on roids because he sucked too. And then all of a sudden he was like in the main event.
Maybe. He's huge.
Yeah, he is pretty. Yeah, and you know what? I'm pissed because they let him fight with Mercer.
Really?
He fought, when he fought Michael Chiesa. He fought him with a big lump on his chest. And after the fight, he's like, yeah, I got Mercer, bro.
Well, you hate Chiesa anyway.
Yeah, I do. He's a turd, too. I don't like very many people.
That's all right.
These people are never going to know who I am. Unless, one day we're fortunate enough to have them on here, then I'll probably be their best friend. But until then...
Yeah, and we can still, if we get known, we could still poo-poo on people.
Yeah, or maybe I'll just ask the hard-hitting questions that people are scared to ask, and I'll probably get threatened to get my butt kicked.
That's all right. I'll have your back.
That's what gets used, bro. That's what gets listeners.
It is. So UFC Fight Night, Thompson versus...
That's this weekend.
What does that say?
Anthony Pettis.
Oh, Pettis.
Yeah, you put Petri dish.
That was an accident.
I didn't know we were in biology class.
Yeah, Thompson versus Pettis. What do you think about that? Both guys have kind of similar styles.
I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think it's going to be one of those fights where it's like really exciting or really boring. Even Thompson barely has boring fights, so I'm going to say it's going to be a good fight.
His most boring fights were against Woodley because not one person wanted to get caught.
Yeah. I'm going to take Thompson in this fight, too, because I feel like Anthony Pettis, he'll brawl with somebody, but he's always the one that gets caught.
Yeah, I agree. Like that fight that he had with
Ferguson.
Yeah, like that fight was great, but it always seems like Pettis is the one that gets caught, and it sucks because I love Pettis. He's always been exciting.
Hurt, bro.
Yeah, he's always been exciting though, and so. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Thompson. I've always liked Thompson too. He's crazy good.
Anthony Pettis was working Dustin Poirier in that one fight they had, and then Poirier just broke his rib, and that's how he won.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude, Anthony Pettis, if he stays healthy, he's still the 155 champ. Like he would have never lost the belt. I'm being dead serious.
But I don't know. I love Stephen Thompson too. He's exciting to watch.
But I just think Anthony Pettis is like one of those guys that's just head and toe above the competition talent wise. He just has a bad camp. Why? He should have never dropped to 145.
Yeah, I think Thompson he's kind of been on a snide. Not a snide, but we haven't heard much about him since his losses to Woodley. I think this is his time to start putting himself back on the map. Nobody
wants to fight this guy, and understandably so, because he attacks you from anywhere. Look what he did to Johnny Hendricks. He retired Johnny Hendricks.
Mm-hmm.
He beat the crap out of him in 8 different ways.
Yeah.
Not many guys can do that.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be an exciting fight.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Violent Bob Ross is fighting on this card.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love that guy, just for his nickname.
So we actually have, to wrap up the podcast, we had 2 fan questions.
Really?
Yeah, they're from the usuals, but I'll take it. So,
what's up, Franco?
I can't play the message because we originally planned on doing this one in person. Unfortunately, some things happened, so I had to do it. We had to do it remotely. So Zach Sharenko's question was, is Ichiro the second unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer?
Ooh. You know what? Yeah. Definitely first ballot, too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with because I feel like, everyone says like Derek Jeter was like the most likable guy in baseball, and to me,
Dude, me and you, we've said this over and over again. We're not even big fans of Jeter.
no, I'm not for sure, but
He's definitely overrated.
yeah, but I feel like, like Ichiro's like that most loved guy in baseball. And so I feel like he's never done anything wrong to a writer, and he's always been that respectful pro. And so I think based on his career numbers, obviously, which are insane, and his love for the game and the way people love him, I think he will be the second unanimous Hall of Famer, especially like Mo. So like Mo, again, same thing, like great at what he did, but was also a great person. Never ticked anyone off. And that's really what matters, because if you make a writer mad, they're not going to vote for you.
Yeah, and that's why, outside of Bonds' past with like the steroids, that's honestly the main reason. And writers have publicly come out and said that is the main reason Bonds isn't in, because he was a dick to reporters.
Well, you got all those guys like him. You got McGuire's had run-ins. You got Clemens.
Because the reporters, when all that stuff was going down, everybody was getting busted for roids. They're like, "Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it?" Bro, they're getting enough pressure with, the commissioner about to suspend them, or them even going possibly to jail. So why would they want to talk about it to you, some low-level reporter? And half these guys shouldn't even have a vote. It should be player votes.
I agree. It should be between players, other people in the Hall of Fame, and managers and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And then our second question was from Leon. How long do you think the Rams can maintain their roster with their spending frenzy? I basically just feel like the Rams their defense has already regressed. They've already lost some guys. So, I mean, yeah, they still have a lot of money tied up, but, they've lost Joyner, they lost Sue, they re-signed Fowler, but I don't know. I feel like in the NFL, like, that's what makes the Patriots so amazing is, in the NFL, we don't see teams reign like they do, like the Patriots have.
Yeah, I think the Rams are just going to be that team that's going to be very, very good, probably for like the next 3 to 4 years, but they're not going to have a consistent team. Their team's just going to be different every year. They're going to sign like those really good old dudes or maybe not old dudes, but like those guys that are really, really good, but like they've underperformed or if they've been hurt and they're coming back from injury. They're going to continuously sign guys to like 1-year deals and low salary.
Yeah,
like you saw with Sue last year.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't, that's what I mean. Like we see teams, be really good for 3 to 4 years, then they don't necessarily go on a rebuild, but they kind of take that step back, and so that's why.
But you know what? That's okay for the Rams.
Yeah,
because that's what that fan base needed. Like they left St. Louis because there was nothing left for them there other than the fans. There was literally nothing there for them. They were bad for like 10 years in a row, and then they moved to LA. They're good again. And why not just keep the fan base happy with a competitive team?
Yeah, I agree. But
I'll give a question back to Leon. I would love to see you perform the Devil Goes Down to Georgia.
We could make that happen.
I think we should make that happen. Maybe while he's a little inebriated. I feel like it'll be even better.
I'll have to tell him he has to listen so that he can hear that.
All right, well, let him know.
All right, well, that's it for Bringing the Heat, episode 33. A pretty good comic episode. Some funny moments.
Yeah, we started off a little dry, but I feel like we picked it up towards the end.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be quiet because my son is sleeping, so don't want to wake him up.
Good old Huddy Buddy.
Yep. So make sure you check us out on all different platforms. We are all over the place now. We're on Overcast, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcast.
Wait, what is it?
I think it's like Podbean.
Oh, dude, I deadass thought it was Bean Flicker. Oh, my God. Why didn't you correct me?
Because I thought it was funny.
Oh.
Also, make sure you go check out Train on Main at 427 Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. That's one of our sponsors. Go see
Train on Main.
Go see Dan. It's he'll hook you up with a good work out with you one-on-one. He knows what he's doing, so make sure you go check them out. And also, go check out any other podcasts that you want to listen to. You know, leave the pin in, smash match. You know, those are good. Those are our buddies. Those are good podcasts as well. So go check them out. Anything else, Luke?
Nah.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I think we've said enough.
I gotta walk my dog.
All right, enjoy. Everyone, share, retweet, tweet, subscribe to us. Go to Anchor. Check us out. We will see you again on Tuesday. Peace out.
Later.
We bop and hippity hop. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I don't care. Yeah. We bop and hippity hop. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa,